And joining us now, we're heading to Melbourne into quarantine as well. And of course, we take all of the coverage of tomorrow's Valley meeting from racing.com on TAB Trackside 1. Jason Richardson, we're looking forward to this meeting. And of course, you've got a little bit of time to do some form in there.
I certainly do, mate. Great to chat to you and everyone in NZ. And sorry to hear that you guys have plunged into a lockdown, but you've managed it better than most. So good luck to everyone there and to all our friends and family who live in New Zealand. Mate, I'm actually in hotel quarantine locked in Sydney, believe it or not. Desperate to get out on next Wednesday and then make my way back to Melbourne. Hope they'll let me in, mate. So I'll be watching I'll be like you. I'll be watching racing.com tomorrow and trying to find a winner or 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get on to the racing, how did the Olympics go for you? Heard great things about your coverage. How did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was fantastic, mate. It was also, it was brilliant by the organisers to actually allow it to happen. And unlike any other Olympic Games, normally, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to cover or attend Olympic Games, normally what goes on the field is one thing, and then there's all the festivals around it, and it's certainly a great celebration. Well, these Olympic Games were purely and simply about the athletes, and by gee, they shine. They were absolutely magnificent. I had an opportunity to go to many, many sports, and we saw some great results from an Australian point of view, and also from a New Zealand point of view. I had a wonderful interview after she'd won a bronze medal with Dame Valerie Adams, and I was talking in glowing terms about our friendship between Australia and New Zealand, how proud we were of her. And she just stopped with this cheeky look and go, "Don't carry on as like we're besties, mate." I can assure you, we love beating the Aussies. I was like, okay. So there were so many great performances, mate. It was sensational. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's just such a, once you're in front of the TV, you just can't get away from it. It's compelling, the whole event, and very envious of your role in it as well. Let's turn our attention to the racing. Obviously, it's a decent card at Moonee Valley tomorrow. Have you been able to find a winner or two?
It's fascinating. I think late in the day is my best, and that is DEGRAVES. Now, this is a horse who runs in the last at the Valley, who made its Australian debut, won over 1,600 metres. And go back, have a look at his form in Europe. He was a former European-trained, Irish-trained horse. He was beaten less than 2 lengths by Armory in the Royal Whip Stakes, which was always a really good race at the Curragh, a 2,000-metre race. And he was beaten less than 2 lengths there. Armory came out and, of course, I think should have won a Cox Plate if it didn't get wet, run second in a Cox Plate and didn't handle the track. That's how good he was. So this is a fascinating horse. Maybe the Cox Plate this year will be too soon for him. It might be in another 12 months, but I think he can be winning here. Groundswell's in the race, and I know you guys have got a close connection with Brad Taylor through the Freedman stable. And Groundswell's going really well. The good thing about Groundswell, it'll make sure it's a really genuine race, and I think that'll suit DEGRAVES. And around 310, 320, I'm keen to play there. I might have a little saver on Al Galale at around 30 to 1, who's second up from a spell, but I'm keen in the last with DEGRAVES.
Okay, you're going to need some money to back it, so that means you're going to have to find a winner earlier in the day. Have you got something for us from earlier on?
Well, I think the first leg of the quaddie, my second best bet of the day is HILAL. Now, this is a real quality horse. We saw him as a 2-year-old run really well, second in the Champagne, second in the Sires. How is it presented first up? We don't know. What is the price? I'm just checking the price, around $2.40. Jigsaw's got the edge in fitness around $2.60. And then we've got a couple of horses resuming. As you know better than most, that gap between a late season 2-year-old into the new season 3-year-old, how much have they actually improved? That level of improvement's hard to judge. So horse like number 9 in Smites is $27 at the moment. Only the one start was impressive. How much physical improvement have they made? So Jane Ivor's mounting yard assessments are really important in those early races. But all things being equal, if they race like they did as 2-year-olds and their new season 3-year-olds, I think HILAL is the class in the race. Hey, fascinating race in the first. I don't know if you've got any insight in regards to Zuzarella in the famous Lindsay family colours, making its debut for the Freedmans. I'm keen on Zapateo for Godolphin in the first, who's up and fit and strong, and I thought was terrific at the Valley. And you get that tick with Moonee Valley because it's very much a specialist course. But are you hearing anything with Zuzarella?
Well, we did talk to Brad Taylor, who's a racing manager for the Freedmans earlier on, and they said it's not normally Anthony Freedman's sort of the way he plays. He'd normally send a filly to the country, and obviously she's coming up against a couple of horses there who've won races, but they said trialled up really well, and when the field was so small, they sort of put in the entry, and they've got a pretty high opinion of her, but just obviously a little bit of caution around what she does, but. It's an interesting way to start the program as well. And before we let you go, what about the Group 1 in Sydney? Have you sort of cast an eye over the Group 1 horses in the Winx Stakes?
Yeah, well, everyone will be backing for Very Elegant. I think she's the best horse in Australia, but she's the most vulnerable, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Sydney, first up, dry track. I've been stuck in this room. I'm looking at the moment. Someone's ringing me. Shush, I'm talking to New Zealand. I'm looking at the beautiful Harbour Bridge at the moment. There has not been a cloud in the sky for the entire 10 days I've been here, but I can't open this window. It's killing me. So dry track, 1,400 metres. She's going to be most vulnerable. I'm with her stablemate in Kolding, second up from a spell. I think he can put himself in the race. I think he can win. And I think Imaging, another of her stablemates, at around 25 to 1. I'm going to have a little each way play there as well. But I'm backing against her, but I always barrack for her because I love her.
Okay, brilliant. Really appreciate your time, Richo, and enjoy the rest of your time in lockdown. I guess at least you're getting a bit of the phone calls and a few video calls, so that'll keep you occupied a bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, the team on Get On gave out my room number on, and I was thinking more from send me some beautiful gifts, but. The last phone call I had last night was from a punter at about 11:30 to say, mate, what do you like tomorrow? And so that's been really good. I got one at 8 o'clock this morning as well. So thank you, everyone, for the shout outs.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks so much. Jason Richardson joining us here on Trackside.
See you, bud.